And then as before he goes inside, he pulls the gun out of the glove box, and when he checks the mag and the slide, it's this. You can hear it's plastic. Like it's very clearly plastic. Very clearly. Oh God.
I mean, I know you're in like New York, but it can't be that difficult to get your hands on a prop gun.
Or Kyle, watch what I do here in the edit.
Oh my God, that sounded like a
real gun! Wow! Hello, welcome back to the 146th episode of Good Bad Show Us Trouble. Moving quick because Kyle, I'm not kidding. I have 9 pages of notes. Kyle. For people's so I take notes every time. That's why I'm looking down a lot. I'm looking at my notes. Kyle's just here to be the pretty half.
I remember things,
but I take all the notes. And normally my notes for a normal episode, like our last episode, 4 pages.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
3 to 4-ish, maybe 5 on a long one. 9 pages, Kyle. This is like a Neil Breen of notes.
9 pages? I don't remember having 9 pages.
Oh God! So we're gonna get right into it. The movie is Maggie Shayne's Embrace the Twilight.
It's about vampires. Spoiler.
If that wasn't obvious from the title, Embrace the Twilight, this is a vampire romance. This is based on a book. The reason it's called Maggie Shayne's Embrace the Twilight is she's the author, and apparently, so the movie's from 2019, and apparently this is from the 8th book in a series. This one is based on the 8th book in a series of paranormal romance novels from like the 90s or something like that. I don't know why this specific one got adapted. I don't know. I do not know. We'll talk more about all of it as we go. Not so much about the details because I only did the most minimal amount of research.
Yeah, there's just so much to talk about.
There's so much in the movie to talk about before we even get into the history of what the heck this is.
I'm trusting you with my daughter's life, Willem. Don't let me down. The most important thing is that she not know that I've hired you. Amber Lily is the only child of her kind. She's half human, half vampire.
Right off the bat, I love there's a production logo for Ghost Walk. And it's like a wolf, like a ghost wolf, and I was like, is that the Stephen Grew logo? Because it's pretty close.
It also reminded me of Maverick, the Maverick Entertainment one.
Yes, I'm 99% sure this is one of those Envato marketplace assets you can After Effects projects you can purchase that I've used before on our projects. Like a lot of times, like the Christmas opens and stuff, I will buy from there and just like customize because it's way quicker than building it from scratch and way easier.
Bryan, people thought you were talented.
I am not talented.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Spoilers, I'm not talented. But yeah, it's I assume, I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
So when you search wolf logo on Envato Market, not only is this wolf from this company, from this movie here for $19, but so is Stephen Grew's right above it. If you want Stephen Grew's production company logo reveal, $19 and it's yours. In fact, let's just...
I also love that one of the production companies is called Vampire 2 Films. Vampire, the number 2, all one word.
It's 2. What happened to 1?
I don't know, Kyle. I don't know. I do not know. Vampire 2 Films presents. Opening credits, just red text over a sky. Really brilliant stuff. Then we cut to, and I'm fairly certain that this is what the title says, Italy, 1884, I think. It could be a different country. Sure. I'm pretty sure it's Italy, 1884. Now, to be fair, None of the set decoration or anything necessarily implies that we're in the 1800s. They really did the bare minimum.
I mean, it mostly looks like a really shitty Ren Fair.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 100%. A lot of the people involved in this spend some time at Ren Fairs. I have a strong feeling, and yes, this is absolutely the traveler camp at your local Ren Fair is the setting of this opening flashback scene. So we're introduced to Serafina, who is our main vampire. We will find out. This backstory, Kyle, is rather incomprehensible.
Yes, I watched. I got it to the point where we passed our first act, and I was like, "What was the point to half of this?"
I don't know, man. It's so weird. We'll get to. I don't know. But we're introduced. She's a psychic. Serafina is a psychic, and so is her sister. I think it's her sister.
I think you're for her sister. I think you're confusing the word psychic for Lady of the Night. For what little amount of time we have.
No, she's a psychic.
I'm pretty sure she's just a prostitute.
No, they're both psychics.
10 men from the village have come to see me this week. 10, Katrina. Twice as many as have sought you out to tell their fortune.
Okay.
I'm like 99% sure because they're arguing about who's a better psychic, I think.
Yeah, but
maybe
we've seen somebody pay for her services of looking through tarot
like a
cards
crystal ball
and
and
the only thing we
tarot
saw the sister was a guy leaving the
True, but I swear they're arguing about who's a better psychic. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's the implication. I don't know.
Did you think your lover had returned to Katrina? So sorry to disappoint you.
Also, at one point, a ghost appears, and I think this is just to Serafina, and I'm pretty sure this is a flash forward. I think it's the spirit of the soldier to
right?
Stone,
Yes.
I think. I don't know. At the time, you didn't know because I just saw this guy up here. Anyways, they're arguing.
Yes, and it gets into a really stupid level.
Fight.
Yes, they start wrestling
and shit, and they knock over a lamp.
And this whole, of course, this is nothing but cloth everywhere.
It's like a tent basically that they're in, and there's this cloth walls, and then it starts a fire, and they start freaking out, and we had the same thought. Which they're like, what do we do? It's like, just walk through your wall.
Indians. Sure, maybe they were incredibly sturdy. Maybe your cloth tents were incredibly sturdy and you couldn't get through them. Sure, that's what we're gonna have to believe.
I don't think that's the case because that's blowing in the wind, like it's moving
so
around.
Ridiculous.
So there's a fire, and they're like, we don't know, we can't get out. And then this guy who I don't know if it's
I think he was the one who left the tent earlier.
Sure, this guy with sweet ass eyeliner comes in. He's got real thick eyeliner.
Oh my god!
If I put eyeliner on that thick, it wouldn't come off for months. I would still.
Oh, you have the experience.
Yeah.
I do want to get something out of the way right now, Bryan. Your eyes.
I went to a roller derby party last night, and it was a decades party, and I was going for early 2000s emo, and so I did some eyeliner, and I cannot get it off.
He comes in to save them, and he like wraps them in blankets and escorts them out.
It's like, oh. Okay.
And they're like, oh, we're saved. But then it cuts to the next scene. They're sitting around a campfire, and the Serafina's not there.
No,
and I thought
no,
she died at first.
Yes, I was like,
wait.
I had to go back and
I did the exact same thing. I backed it up like, wait,
they're
did
talking
she
to
die?
this old guy who I'm guessing is like the elder or whatever.
Yeah.
But by the way, there's nothing more unsettling than some 60-something-year-old guy with black eyeliner on.
She's in league with the demon. I saw them myself. Murder Belinda and so many others.
Sad as it is, you must gather her belongings and bring them here to the fire and burn them.
I disagree. That guy looks like a champ.
Okay.
No, but he's and they're basically the one sister is like, Serafina's made a deal with the devil or something. I don't know.
She's in league with the demon.
And then it cuts, and he's like, well, we got to burn all of her shit.
Take her shit and let's burn it.
Okay, I was like, all right, fine. And then they cut, and now Serafina is with some dude who is a vampire?
And they got a cuckoo clock.
I intend to see the sunrise today.
And his name's like Bartholomew or something like that?
I've never believed these things before, Bartram.
Okay.
And she's with him, and he explains that I am more than 2,000 years old.
I am tired of living.
I am more than 2,000 years old, my precious Serafina. This condition of ours, a curse, perhaps.
Yeah, and he just wants to die, and at this point I'm like, Kyle, what is happening?
And there apparently at some point while they've known each other, he turned her.
You taught me to embrace my strength and power, to relish this life and all it offers.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had brought you into this life.
Right?
Yes, I think yes. I think she's a vampire at this point. I think, and yeah, he turned her, I guess. But he's like, I just want to die. And he's just gonna go walk outside.
Gonna go, wee.
I intend to see the sunrise today.
No, don't be foolish. You can't. You mustn't even try.
It is unnatural to live forever.
Yeah, he says, I'm tired of never seeing into the sunlight and for killing in order to life. Also, to be fair, this guy's English is clearly not his first language.
No.
But the translation of the script here, not exactly spot on.
I was getting a lot of Incubus flashbacks.
Yes, of that guy. It reminded me of him a lot in the way he speaks.
It is impossible for you to love anyone at all.
Because he says,
I am tired of never seeing to the sunlight and killing in order to live.
And he's going to walk into the sun to kill himself. And then I think that happens. We see more of it later in a later flashback or whatever. But then it just literally hard cuts from that.
Well, hang on. So we've been going throughout history. We've been going throughout the
1800s.
The 1800s, Eastern Europe,
in Italy or whatever, yeah,
wherever. And what's the natural jump forward?
Without an explanation of there being a time jump, it does not say what year it is. We cut to, and the title on the screen, I'm not kidding, is Afghanistan Taliban cave.
What?
I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Which I don't know. I also
happened?
don't know where they shot some of the stuff at, but that is some lush foliage for the caves.
Yeah,
in
well, they're not
Afghanistan.
even in. There is cave, but they're also like in trees.
There's this huge tree that they're propped up
It's
against.
very strange. I don't know anything about the geography or the what Afghanistan. There are trees and stuff. I don't know, but I was so because it doesn't say that the time has changed. I'm like, wait, is it still the 1800s?
Yeah.
But then we cut. We jump in from this. It's Afghanistan Taliban cave. We jump in and there's some soldier being tortured by the Taliban, and I was like, Kyle, what is going on? What the fuck is happening? So it's literally, we have now jumped forward to modern time, I guess, and our main character, Willem Stone, is his name?
Willem Stone.
Is being tortured in this cave, cannot hear the dialogue. The audio in this movie
poorly mixed.
That is an understatement, good sir. The audio in this movie is atrocious. It's a nightmare.
Every time the pain becomes too much for him, he leaves his body. How does he do this?
And in this scene, there's like music, and you cannot hear. One of the Taliban guys is saying something, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you.
You will tell us what we wish to know.
I already told you. There are no American spies in your training camps.
They're like looking over the boom guy. Bob, you got to put it pointed towards them.
Put it towards us. He's just like in the back at the craft services table with the mic like just sitting there. Because that's what it sounds like how they recorded the audio for this movie.
I get 2 donuts, right? 2 donuts.
God, it's so bad.
I'm Willem Stone. You remember me?
You're just a man.
Okay. And so they're like dunking this dude's head in water, and his eyes are all fucked up. I didn't know what happened to his eyes.
Oh, you know I'll tell you what happened to that. So they tried to make it look like he'd just been being beaten.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like it'd been like his eyes.
Here's because they keep dumping him into the water while doing this. I guarantee you, the actor got a bunch of shit into his face too. To like all the makeup was bleeding in there, and it was just
worse. Yeah. But it looks like his eyes have been like burned or something. There's like I guess like you said, it's supposed to look like black eyes. He's starting
to look like Neo from Matrix 3.
His skin looks like it's dying. I don't know what's happening. But I love, he's like, I'm not gonna talk, and they're like, oh, you'll talk, and they go get a brand. Kyle, I don't know if you noticed this. They're gonna brand, they're doing like the classic, like, ha, it's hot, where now you'll talk. They're using the brand backward, yes. Kyle.
You would tell us what we wish to know.
The guy's holding the brand apart and has the handle in the fire, and
yep.
Oh my God. Okay. So then when he gets branded.
Property of Taliban.
Yeah. Once he gets branded by the handle of the brand, and that triggers like a.
Yes. Well, like they're trying to get information out of him, but every time they torture him, he goes
into like a trance mode. Yeah. And this was where he has like a flashback to the beginning of the movie. If I'm to guess what the heck is going on here, is that somehow Stone is like psychically connected with Serafina somehow all the way through history, and that ultimately leads up to them meeting here in our current timeline. I don't understand how any of that happens or why or how what that, but I think that's what's going on. I love they come in with a guy holding like a newspaper and a gun, and they're like, we got to take a picture of you with the newspaper to send to the Americans or whatever. And he's like, but they won't even recognize me. I look like shit because you guys have been torturing me.
They won't even recognize me like this. And if they do, they'll be so fucking pissed off at you that they'll just renew the bombing.
I guess he's right.
And they're like, oh, I guess he's right. And they leave?
Yeah, they let him wash up. I will give them credit for production with these weapons that they have. They actually use proper trigger discipline.
Oh, fair enough. They're all plastic guns. 100%.
I mean, there are, but like whoever they had like with the gun had proper trigger discipline. I was like, wow, a really low budget movie with people who knew what the hell they were doing.
At least a little.
To that degree.
In that specific regard, yeah.
Because like so often you'll see somebody with literally no trigger discipline in a movie, and you're just like, oh, don't do that.
But I love as the one Taliban guy leaves and tells him to wash up, he like gives him a noogie as he like roughs up his hair like he's like his younger brother.
Okay,
happening. Then he comes back, and they come back, and they have him sitting, and while they're gone, he grabs a butter knife that he's going to use to break out of his cage or whatever. Then they come back and they have him sitting at a different table and record this or take this picture with the newspaper that they can use as evidence that he's alive or whatever. And I love too, they're like, all right, now you're cleaned up and ready. He looks exactly the same as he did before he cleaned up.
Yeah.
He's still completely fucked up. Like
he's in military fatigues.
Yeah, they dressed him up in his military outfit, and that's it. I love too. They take the picture, and for whatever reason, this movie shows us for like 30 seconds this Taliban guy taking his picture. He literally pulls and holds his phone up to the camera and takes like 6 pictures. And I was like, oh my God, my mom takes pictures on Christmas like the Taliban does for their fucking hostage
I
photos.
just assumed he was going through all the Instagram filters.
But he just he's like, all right, one of these will be good. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what is going on? And I gotta gotta say, at this point, I was not expecting this Taliban subplot in our vampire romance movie.
So insane.
What is happening? Oh God. But he's got a butter knife now. They take him back to his cage, and he uses a butter knife to just
shimmy out of there.
Open the lock. It doesn't. They don't know how lock picking works. They think you can do it with a butter knife.
Thankfully, all the Taliban got really. It's after that nice feast where you get really tired, and they're all
asleep. He just sneaks past the Taliban. They're all taking a nap. He grabs a gun and he's like,
he gets a complete change of clothes too.
Yeah.
Like one of them just sleeping. It's like, oh, thank God I got this. My clothes nice, freshly laundered and all that.
And he's like, yoink, takes that, and thinks about shooting him, but doesn't, and just runs off. Oh God! And then we get some sweet montage of him like limping around through the countryside.
Yeah, his foot's jacked.
Yeah, his foot's all jacked, and he's like limping around. He passes out, and we get another flashback of Serafina, I think, getting turned into a vampire in this scene or something. And we also, in this moment, get the shot of, I believe, the guy who at the beginning was like, I'm going to go commit suicide in the sun. I think he has, and we see his body like burning on the side of a mountain or something like that. It's very strange. And then he just wakes up and he's in a hospital. I was like, what, how? And I think in America, like in New York, like it's like, hell of a jump there. And this nurse comes in and just, we watch her like fucking poke and prod him for like 10 freaking minutes.
The one thing, whenever somebody wakes up in a hospital in movies or TV shows and what have you, they always wake up, they're like, where am I? It's like, then somebody's like, you're in a hospital. Of course I'm in a hospital.
I'm aware.
I'm in a
hospital bed. I know what a hospital is. I mean, like, where is the hospital? How did I transport from the middle of Afghanistan to where I am now? That's what I want to know. But she explains that they saved his foot, but that he'll always have a limp and that he'll have to use a cane and he won't be able to run anymore because his foot's all jacked up.
Well, it's healing, and we were able to save your foot. You do have a lot of intense therapy ahead of you. You'll be able to walk. You won't be able to run again. It won't be 100%.
Also, I'm fairly certain that at least some of the shots in this movie are they were shot in a la like the time machine we found at the garage sale or whatever. They shot it in some sort of raw format and did 0 color grading on it. It's just the flattest, like grayest. It's clearly like you shot it in raw and didn't realize you can't just use the raw in your movie is what's going on there. Oh my God. Also, he starts wandering around the hospital and they shoot day for night indoors, Kyle. In the hospital.
Why would you do that?
It's inside. It can just be nighttime. You can turn the lights off. You don't have to put a blue filter inside the hot. They shoot day for night indoors. It's fucking wild.
Also, a good way to convey it's turning to night. You're in a hospital. You got a hospital shot. What's one thing they do at night at hospitals? They shut off the lights in the hallway.
Yeah.
You just have the cane come into frame. Oh my God! Look, much better.
Or you can
design.
slap a blue filter over it and be like, it's day for night in a hallway.
Yep.
Great. Amazing. But he wanders into a random room and the
guy's stealing blood.
The guy's standing there stealing blood, but he thinks he's gonna kill himself. He's like, wait, don't jump.
Don't jump. You have
out the
so
window.
much to live for. Something.
What?
Don't jump. There's no need. I'm not security, I'm a patient.
So he has this conversation, and this guy's name is like Jameson Bryant. And they have this whole conversation, and I love he has this line that, you know, basically a rip-off line from Twilight where he's like, you knew what I was the moment you saw me.
I'll let it go already. Guess what I am the moment you saw me.
I know what you are.
Say it.
And he's like, I was like, did he? Did he assume you were
Not
a
really.
vampire?
Nope.
You're just a dude in a hospital room at this point. Like, what? But apparently he knew he was a vampire the whole time. He says that line twice, by the way.
There's no such thing as...
And how did you guess what I am the moment you saw me?
But he knows Willem Stone from the news because he's a hero. He saw him, you know, that he was a hero or whatever.
The man on the news said you withstood weeks of torture and never broke. Said your silence saved the lives of countless American soldiers.
And then Jameson goes to jump out the window, but as he goes to jump out the window, he looks and then he stops and goes,
Damn it! Been seen. There's a crowd down below looking up here and pointing.
I'm like, a crowd? What? Why is there a crowd? What is happening?
Yes.
None of this makes any sense.
What am I thinking right now?
I don't know. You're blocking.
Blocking?
Perhaps subconsciously, but yes. You have a very strong will, don't you?
I can read every mind in this room, apart from yours.
We're explained that he's, we get the reveal that his name is Colonel Willem Stone, which, oof, A+ fucking name. Incredible.
It's Colonel Willem Stone.
And then a giant hot doctor lady shows up. The psychologist who's in one scene and it's like 8 feet tall.
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yeah, she's gigantic. Well, maybe they're all short. I don't know. Like maybe she's at normal height, or you know, like not that tall, but she's towers over everybody else in this fucking scene. She's trying to talk to him, and he's like, he's trying to get them out of there without them seeing Jameson, because he's like, I'll help you get out of here. It's like, why are you helping this random guy who you think is a vamp? What is happening? It's nonsense.
Okay.
I'm ready to go back to my room now.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind if I walk with you?
Sure, whatever.
He gets very upset and punches a window because it's Colonel Stone, damn it!
I'm trying to help you.
It's Colonel Stone.
And then he goes home. And I have to talk about this scene. It's so... By the way, this is another one of those movies, kind of like the last one, but that I'll say all the time, that as I'm going through my notes, this is going to make no sense. I just need you to prepare for the fact that this is not going to be comprehensible. That's only a little bit my fault. It's mostly the movie's fault. Mostly the movie's fault.
This like the previous one had to deal with a lot of stuff felt like getting cut out and stuff. This is...
Oh, everything's in.
It's adding it, and then adding it, and then adding it.
And never wrapping things up, and never...
There's an old saying, it was a French aviation person who said, was it an architect or an engineer or whatever, knows they have met perfection, not when there is nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. This is the opposite of that philosophy.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely the opposite.
It's Colonel Stone.
He goes home though, and I could not figure out what this was. I mean, it becomes clear. He's laying in his bed and he just says out loud, "Please God, let this work." And then he grabs his cane and smacks his injured foot with it.
What was that?
Please let this work.
He's trying to get himself to a trance.
Yes, he's literally trying to trigger himself into,
it would have been
like,
funnier if it didn't work.
He's just like, fuck, that really hurt. Oh god. But he like passes out, and then he's able to like mind meld with Serafina again. Or something like that. Serafina is now getting into her coffin in this scene that he sees because she was out in the sun watching.
Yeah, she's got to heal up.
She's got to heal. She's like melted. She's like super gooey. It's kind of great.
He's still
juicy.
Yes.
There is some okay. I will say there's some okay makeup effects in this.
There's
movie.
also some really
There's also
bad
some really
ones.
bad ones, but there are some okay ones in this movie. And some of the gooey, melty skin looks okay. He wakes up and now Jameson's there. Like Jameson shows up. He's just talking to Jameson. They rehash a lot of their previous conversation.
Actually, I was trying to read your thoughts, but you're adept at blocking them. I seem to recall noticing that about you at our last encounter.
And it turns out, we find out that Serafina is in New York with them. And then...
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. At this point, Stone is still not like... He's not buying necessarily that he's a vampire.
At least tell me how you knew what I was the night we met.
I didn't even know such a thing. I don't know it now.
So Jameson has to prove it to him, and he does the little Twilight speed run.
Oh god.
How the hell?
He like speed runs over. It's so good. And then he sits down next to him. He sits down next to him at the table. And he says, "Here, see for yourself." And the camera is on a 2-shot of them. The camera very slowly pans over to a mirror on the wall. Yes. And then it's just Stone sitting there.
Look and see the truth.
All right. You are what you say you are.
And it's so clear that while the camera was slowly panning, Jameson was like, "Fuck, shit. Oh, fuck. Am I out of the shot?"
Yeah. Good.
Like, that's exactly what fucking happened. It's amazing.
Look and see the truth.
Fuck. Am I out of the shot?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So he's a vampire, and then basically the whole point of this that we find out is that Jameson wants to hire Stone to protect his daughter, Amber.
I can't do it myself. Amber would sense if I was there. I don't want to break her trust in me, but I'm not incorrect in feeling that she'll be at risk without protection. It has to be someone like you.
Who is
a half vampire, half human hybrid.
You know what that means, right?
She's super
She
special.
is the chosen one.
She's the daywalker.
She is the prophecy. The child.
The child.
Jesus Christ.
She can go out in sunlight. She doesn't need to drink blood. She can eat normal food, though she seems to require excessive amounts of protein.
But he doesn't want to help because he's like, "I don't need money. I'm rich, bitch." So what he says, "I have more money than I'll ever need." I was like, okay, sure. Okay. I guess we're not going to go into that.
How?
But yeah, whatever.
I have more money than I'll ever want or need.
But he will do it if he can help him meet Stone. Basic, like he says, but I'll look after Amber, or not Stone, Serafina. If you can help me meet Serafina. And he's like, okay, fine.
Show me Serafina.
And then he literally goes to a bar and meets Serafina, like in the next scene. Whatever. He walks into. I gotta talk about this scene, Kyle.
This scene's nuts.
It's so bad. There's so many things in this one scene. This is the epitome of just terrible filmmaking. It encapsulated in one scene.
Yeah.
He walks in and he sits down across from Serafina.
I'm Willem Stone. Do you remember me?
You're just a man.
Yeah, well, you mind if I sit and talk with you for a minute?
And first thing, we've mentioned the audio, but holy shit in this scene, the noise reduction they are running to try to cut out the coolers or whatever is running in the background. It's working overtime and it sounds terrible. It's just like the whole time they're talking.
So it's Colonel Willem Stone.
Retired.
And you're some kind of war hero?
They keep cutting to random close-ups of his wristwatch for no reason.
Yes.
But then, did you notice the continuity of where they're sitting is fucked?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god.
They do this one shot. I can't tell if it's like through a mirror.
I don't know
what.
either. Yes.
But there's points where they just reverse that almost, and they're just like, guess what? Now you two are sitting in different areas.
Opposite sides of the table. Because literally, when we see the main shot from the side, it's like a 2-shot. The wall is on this side. If you're Stone in this instance, I'm Serafina. The wall's here, and we see the shot from that side all the time.
Yes.
And then it cuts to one other angle, and when it cuts to that other angle, they have switched spots, and now the
film rule 101. This is breaking the 180-degree rule.
Yes, it is. But not only that, it's breaking the 180-degree rule and somehow switching where your actors are sitting. Because now the wall is on the opposite side. It makes no sense. It's so wild. Oh my god.
Yes, screen direction is probably one of the worst things this film
It's really
does.
bad. It's really bad. Holy shit. And then there's also some terrible ADR in this scene as well, where because again, the audio quality was complete dog shit.
Yes.
And so they're replacing some of it, but keeping a lot of it. And it's just...
So there's no way I could have known unless I was there.
Also, there's moments throughout the scene where you can hear like the kitchen staff like dropping plates in the kitchen.
But I never heard from you again until now.
So you just hear like this banging and shit in the background. It's incredible. I love it so much.
You delude yourself, Willem Stone.
But then they just like are in love immediately. And again, I guess this is the idea, is that they're somehow fated by destiny or whatever. And their like psychic connection that they have. Yes. But he says to you, he's like, I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you. And she says,
I want to ride you till you're too exhausted to stand anymore. I want to pleasure myself with your body.
I want to ride you until you're too exhausted to stand anymore. I want to pleasure myself with your body. And they start making out, and you can just hear the kitchen staff banging shit in the background.
You loved me. I know you did.
It's the least sexy thing. It's so fucking funny. It's so fucking amazing. I love it so much.
You loved me. I know you did.
I've cured myself of that flaw, Stone.
It's not a flaw.
Oh, God. And then he needs to leave. And I love that when he leaves, he has to wait for the camera to dolly back from the table so he can get out of the booth. And then the camera dollies back. It's just everything in this scene is wrong. Like, you could not do a single thing worse in filming two people talking in a booth. This movie literally captures every single possible problem.
So he gets out of frame. Out of frame. Now, she's been having a strong front this whole time.
Yeah.
But the second he leaves the frame, she breaks down.
Starts sobbing. Yeah.
He's not out of the building.
He's not gone. He's like right behind the camera. Yeah. Again, the camera had to move out of the way for him to leave. And then now she's just like sobbing. Yeah. It's insanity.
Like this scene alone is
my
just
God.
everything that's good and bad about this movie.
It's all epitomized and summarized in this single scene. It's incredible. Oh my God.
When last you saw me, you promised to come to me again as soon as you could. I never heard from you again until now.
So, like I said, we find out Amber's a half-human thing. She's being hunted. She can go out in the sunlight. She doesn't need to drink blood, but she needs...
bleed.
Yeah, but she needs to eat lots of protein, apparently. Okay. But she's also a vegetarian. None of this matters.
So dumb.
Though she seems to require excessive amounts of protein, which is an extreme challenge now that she's declared herself a vegetarian.
None of this matters
Soy
at
product.
all.
Yay.
And then he's showing... I love this. Such a little detail that drove me crazy. Fucking Jameson is like, oh, let me show you a picture of my daughter, Amber, so you know what she looks like. And Kyle, he hands him his whole wallet.
Wow.
That's a little detail, but that's when you do that, you pull the picture out, you hand on the picture. He hands him his
I didn't have a
wallet.
picture.
Yeah, he does. It's in the wallet. That's what he...
Did they actually show the picture?
Well, we don't
That's
see
the
it.
thing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, you could still whatever. You could pull out a piece of paper.
Anything.
We don't.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
My
yeah.
tiger poster.
He hands him the whole wallet, and I was like, "That's so weird." And then Stone is like, "Wow, she's stunning," and her dad goes, "Yeah, it doesn't even do her justice." Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god!
Wow. She is stunning.
The photo doesn't do her justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We're vampires.
Sir, that is
whatever.
your daughter. What the fuck is going on? He goes to visit Stone goes to visit his hoarder friend who has guns, and I think to get guns, but we never see him use those guns. He finds guns later in cars, but never uses the gun.
He gets like surveillance equipment.
So I need to know if you have any surveillance devices in the back that I can kind of keep an eye on them from a distance. Follow me.
Oh, is that what he was getting from him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was getting guns because the guy shows him all these weapons, I guess. But surveillance
like
equipment.
he's got to keep up with these two teenage girls, a guy with a bum leg who walks with a cane. It's like, what are you kidding me? You're not keeping up with them.
And I guess the idea is that Jameson hired him to watch them without them knowing. Yeah. Why did he? I guess because she would be mad if she knew that like he had somebody like protecting her or something. I didn't understand.
Or if you have security detail and people are after somebody, it makes it more obvious.
Sure, but they could still know about him and just like be like, so that way, because what happens is what would make sense is that they're like, why is this guy following us?
Yeah.
We need help. This guy's trying to kill us. Like, what is going on?
This man is following me.
And the movie plays it that way because they play music like when he's like bugging the room and stuff. It's like all this super like dramatic evil music. It's so weird. Also, again, the editing. He bugs the room. It cuts into a random shot of him listening into the bugs he planted, and then he immediately just lays down and falls asleep. So he's now asleep and dreaming, and it cuts to Serafina because that's when that happens. She's taking a sexy bubble bath, obviously, as you do. And by sexy bubble bath, I mean she sits there and kind of just awkwardly looks around the room because they gave her no direction.
Yeah, this isn't barbed wire.
No, she's just like, am I supposed to be doing something? I'm just gonna
relaxing. Yay!
I guess I'll just look around. We're also introduced to her, like her thrall or whatever. I think Melanie or something.
People who are just like, hey, I need blood.
Yeah. She just feeds off of these people.
Go and tell Edward to get the car ready. We're going exploring tonight.
Right away, milady.
Then we cut back to Amber and her friend, who I can't remember her friend's name at all. But they're, maybe that one's Melody. It doesn't matter. They're going into some bar or club or whatever to go dance. Shots, they walk into the bar, shot entirely out of focus. They're 2 inches from the camera, and it's just, you can't see anything. And then also,
it's because the camera moves with them, right?
Yes, yeah, and they didn't pull focus. Yeah, they didn't. No, they just set it up for when they moved, and then but there's a band playing, and this band is. Again, clearly one of those movies where they knew a band and were like, we'll put your whole song in the movie. And they just, but it sounds like they recorded this band from like across the street on a cell phone. Like the audio sounds so terrible.
It's like that band that's in a New York subway platform.
Yeah, and I love the lead singer. He's like in a button down that's like bedazzled. He looks like an asshole. Like it's fucking wild. And meanwhile, Serafina is at this bar journaling or something.
Just like, just another day.
Just hanging out at a nightclub journaling like a normal, having a normal one, I guess.
Wait, I have an idea. I know you're here. I need your help.
And Amber, like, psychically realizes that Serafina's there.
Yes.
And communicates with her via mind, whatever the word.
Didn't you know that all vampires can do that?
Apparently, they do it in this movie. They just psychically communicate with each other.
Why would I help you, little girl?
This man is following me.
And she's like, we need your help. There's some weirdo following us. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I expect to happen here.
I think he might be DPI.
What would they want from you? My God, you're the child. I thought you were just a legend.
It cuts outside the bar and Serafina just confronts Stone and they just start making out again. And I've
been thinking about you. I wanted to see you again.
None of this makes any sense. None of it's motivated in any way. And then she bites him, I think, because he passes out.
Yeah.
I think she bites him.
Okay, I thought that was just like her power just to be like, and sleep.
I agree because they do a terrible job showing it. But later you do see he has a bite mark on his neck. I'm fairly certain she bit him, but they do not show that actually happening. Which seems like a big swing and a miss in your fucking vampire movie to not have a close-up of somebody being bitten by a vampire, but whatever. Meanwhile, we find out that he was bugging the assassins that are after Amber, or the guys who are trying to kidnap Amber. I think he was actually bugging their room because somebody's listening.
I thought they were waiting in Amber's room.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they were waiting in there because we hear them on the walk, or we hear them on the recording device. I don't fucking know.
He probably has our room bugged.
So, where the hell are the girls?
Then he gets back to Serafina's place, and I don't know what leads to this, but she slaps the shit out of him at some point.
Listen, Serafina, I don't know what the hell you think this is, but... Jesus, Serafina! What the hell is wrong with you? Are you out of your freaking mind?
And then he just like gets up and grabs her boob and shoves her against the door, and then she ties him to the bed.
You will not defy me.
And I was like, what is happening? What is happening?
Insane.
Oh, it's wild. Yeah. She also has this brilliant line.
You're named aptly. Will of Stone.
Because he has will. His will is stone. He has a stone will, and his name's Willem Stone.
Yes, his will's so great it locks up every time he gets any side of trauma.
Yeah, that's true. He does just like fucking teleport out of his head into into Serafina's mind or whatever. At one point, Misty, the familiar, comes in and she rewards her by slicing her finger and letting her suck the blood out of her finger very erotically. And then he's like, they're having a big dumb conversation. None of it matters. I still couldn't tell at this point if Serafina's supposed to be evil or good or both. I think it's kind of like a mixture. She's like a vampire, so she's kind of evil, but she's not like evil. I don't fucking know.
It's not evil.
Yeah.
I thought I knew you.
Don't pretend you're not dying to taste me yourself, Willem. I can see you are.
You're using these people like animals.
They are animals.
Because she says, like, they're talking about how she enslaves people, like enthralls people. And she's like, yeah, but I only do it to criminals. Like, I don't do it to nice people. Like, and I'm like, okay, sure, great.
Maybe you still do have some twisted sort of morality left in you after all.
I make slaves or meals out of whomever I choose. Morality or lack thereof has nothing to do with it.
Bullshit. You prey on criminals.
And they have like this really weird, deep moral debate about morality. It's so, and I say deep, it's not actually deep. It's really terrible, but.
That's a moral judgment, Serafina.
I find it far more entertaining this way. There's a poetic justice to it all.
But you make yourself their judge and jury.
Is there some point to this discussion?
It's so funny. And I do love, though, this movie. Every single line, especially between Willem and Serafina, is delivered with just the intensity and the commitment of a high school senior just going for it in their final play of the year before they graduate. This is their big moment. Every one of the lines is with that much gusto.
This mental trick. Was it something you picked up from your captors in the desert land?
No.
Where then?
It's not a trick, Serafina. You were there when the pain became more than I could bear. You were my haven.
Also, this is where they fuck, right? Yes. She bites him again, and they start making out after she bites him.
What I do will make the pain they inflicted pale by comparison.
None of this makes any sense. There's so much dialogue that is like irrelevant to what's happening. It's just like we want to watch a vampire lady, tie a dude to a bed, and fuck him. And how we get there doesn't matter.
All I had to do was wait till the pain got bad enough. I closed my eyes and I'd find you.
Lies. All lies.
And so she just gets on top and rides him for a while.
Yep.
We keep getting shadow sex shots and lots of moaning, but this movie's PG-13, I think.
Yeah, it can't show.
So we don't show anything. Yeah. I love at the end after they get done having sex, he says to her, Serafina, I felt everything you felt just now.
I felt everything you felt just now.
It's like, yeah, you were also having sex.
Yes.
Like that's how that works, man.
Yes.
Like, what is happening?
Quiet. Sleep, sleep and let the blood do its work.
And then Amber and her friend just magically go to her aunt's house.
I don't know who Maggie Shayne is, but if I really hope that this adaptation doesn't do your book justice.
I hope it does it perfect justice. I hope it's literally a one-for-one copy paste job. Like they didn't edit a jot or tittle out of that book, and we just get every line and every moment from the book directly translated to screen.
Sorry about the ropes. We'll be able to dispense with them very soon, I promise you.
Good, because I'm going to murder you when you do.
No, you won't.
But because if that's the case, this book would be incomprehensible.
I think you found your next. This film is.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. But they end up at Amber's aunt's house to hide, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know. At this point, Willem has now been enthralled or something.
Enough of that. Get to your feet, Willem. Your mistress is hungry, Willem.
But also not really. Yes, he does have free will, but also like she can command him and he does whatever.
As well or something. I don't know.
He's not a vampire. He never ends up being a vampire. I do not know. It again, they don't care and I don't care either.
Do it. Drink me, Serafina.
Now your turn. Not until I say. This is a test of your obedience after all. On your knees.
He does tell her that he loves her, and she's like, never say that! And I was like, ooh, okay. Red flag, dude, red flag.
I love you.
You must never say that.
I've angered you. I'm sorry. If it distresses you to hear those words, I'll never say them again.
See to it you don't.
Oh, God. But then she drinks too much of his blood, and he almost dies.
Yes.
And I think they have to, I don't remember how they fix him.
Put him back in bed and they're like,
he'll be fine.
Give him some cookies and orange juice.
Yeah, but then I don't know how.
What happened to him, Millie? It's none of your business. I never meant. Just get him into bed.
I don't know how, but the SWAT team bad guys somehow figure out where Amber is hiding and they just come bursting into the house through the front door. And it's a SWAT team of like your aunts and uncles. Like it's just like middle-aged chubby people like fucking bursting through this house like a SWAT team.
It's like Alex Maisonette style SWAT team.
It's fucking incredible.
They are boys in blue and yeah, they coming.
One of the guys has a katana on his back. He never uses it, Kyle, but that's one of those ones where the guy's like, my character has a katana, and they're like,
okay,
and he's like, and then I use it in the end. They're like, no.
Can I use it in this scene? No.
Well, I'm gonna wear it on my back still, and they're like, all right, fine, you can wear it on your back.
Downstairs, your son. The half-breed bitch pup must be upstairs.
And then the big bad shows
we're finally
up.
introduced to the big bad.
Styles.
Got some crazy makeup.
Dr. Styles, who has a scarred up half of his face.
So much so that his eye is just gone.
Yeah. It looks like maybe like a burn that healed is what they're going for, or like acid or something like that. And that guy is my favorite actor in this
He is
entire...
so over the top.
And you have this magic telekinetic ability to move things with your mind. Have you ever pushed your limits? What's the largest thing you've ever moved?
Every line is like delivered at an 11, and he's like, I can't, I'll just put in some of his dialogue. I can't do it justice. It's incredible.
We found that sweet little note from your mama tucked in your jean pocket. You got your father's fighting you, don't you, girl? Your aunt. Oh, yes. Aunt Rhiannon. She was mentioned in the note. We're taking you to an old place in Byram, Connecticut. It's been in the family for years.
Her family?
Yours.
Amber at one point telekinesis a dude into a wall and knocks him out.
Bravo. Excellent.
And she's like covering so that they don't realize that her friend is hiding under the bed. And then they end up tranquilizing her, Amber, and grabbing her and taking her out, basically, and taking her away. And then some random sobbing woman bursts in, and I believe it's Rhiannon.
She's not here. She's not here.
It's some of the other vampires. Kyle, a bunch of other vampires show up at this point.
Well, yeah, it's because it literally just turns out like it is in Twilight, where
it's like the family of vampires.
Yeah, the vampires.
They all come bursting in, and Rhiannon is wearing the slinkiest of dresses, just like a nightgown, basically, the whole time. And they're talking to Amber's friend, and they're like, "Where's Amber?" And they're like, "She took her or whatever."
What the hell happened? Where's Amber?
Some men came and she threw me under the bed and they just took her.
And then they have a sweet meeting. They have a sweet family vampire meeting where they got to figure out how they're going to rescue Amber. And they kind of come to the conclusion that she must be somewhere in Connecticut. And I was like, what is happening?
Okay.
Oh, it was Connecticut. It was Connecticut.
Bryan or Byron, or God, it's Eric's old place.
Then you know where she is?
Yes.
And then my favorite thing, I think it's Amber's mom. No, Rhiannon or Alicia. That's her name. That's Amber's friend's name is Alicia. Alicia's mom shows up. She comes bursting through the door and just screams, "For the love of God, what happened?"
For the love of God, what happened? Mom! Oh, honey, are you okay?
I was like, what is going? And she comes flying in. Her delivery is incredible. I can't do this movie justice. I'm just gonna be putting in clips nonstop. It's fucking ridiculous.
What on earth is going on?
We get some more gratuitous shots of Willem Stone in his briefs because that's what we're here for.
I mean, come on.
The guy is jacked. He's very cut. He looks good in just briefs. I will give him that. Then he's leaving now. He's like, I'm getting out of here. This is bullshit. She almost killed me. He gets a car, finds the keys and a gun in the glove box, and is driving away. He's like, I'm getting this is bullshit. Serafina almost killed me. I'm out of here. The shot while he's leaving, I don't know if you noticed this. He's in the car. He's backing out of the parking spot and leaving, and the camera is on a tripod, like panning with him. And I don't know if they were on gravel or what, but the camera wobbles like 8 times. It's just a simple pan, and the camera wobbles
not for nothing. This is a 2019 movie, right?
Yeah.
Warp stabilizer. Warp stabilizer.
No, it would look worse. I think I think if you put a warp stabilizer on that shot, it would look even worse. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe not. It would be. Yeah, it's true. I can do it. I'll just do it. Then we cut to the place where Amber's being held, and she's in like some jail or something. I don't know. They have her in like a cell basically, and they have like fake security footage for no reason.
It's so bizarre.
Why is this all of a sudden like security footage? It's not shot like security cameras. It's shot like the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's just a camera.
Yeah, and so they clearly just shot it like without the plan for it to be security footage, and then we're like, ooh, I got a good idea. What if we make it look like security footage? It's like, well, why is the cameras where they are? None of it.
People who want to make something look like security footage, get a fucking GoPro, stick it in the corner.
Stick it in the top corner. The end. And I think there is one shot that looks like that, but the rest of it is like ground. It's like clearly you just got normal coverage and then slap the fucking filter on. They're trying to question her. I don't even know what about. Ultimately, we'll find out they want her blood because she has.
Yeah, they think that it
healing properties or whatever.
I need to see your arm. I need another blood sample.
I think
Styles wants to like
he wants to heal his
this
face,
and make himself
and live
like
forever,
immortal.
and yeah, something like that.
Damn it, Nelson! The last time her blood pressure was too low. We need to stop with the darts. We need her in a normal state so that we can get something useful out of our experiment.
But boss, it was half as much as last time.
They go to rescue her. They figure out where she is. We get a sweet shot of them walk. They get like the vampire shot where they're like walking in a big line, like cool people. Like
The only thing they're missing is like sunglasses at night, trench coats.
Yeah.
Just look completely like Matrix or whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing. But also the bad guys in the scene are all wearing like paintball gear or like airsoft gear or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. But they get immediately captured. It was a trap. They go to rescue her and they show up and there's like a bunch of quick cuts of shots of like them like trying to run, and by trying to run I mean like a guy like runs and grabs a fence and then like somebody appears next to him and is like, I got you.
It's a trap.
Are you a vampire? Don't you have abilities? Like, what are you doing?
Jump over the fence or
jump over the
something?
fence. What is happening? But anyways, they just get caught. Rhiannon's like the only person who gets away. She gets in her car and drives away.
But the sun starts coming up. It's great. It's she's like starting to fry,
melting.
In just like the greatest scene ever. She pops the trunk to her vehicle and climbs in it.
Gooey, like melting. She climbs into her car, and it's another one of those scenes where I'm like, wouldn't vampires have like super good tint on their windows? Like I think that's a thing in Twilight from my memory. It was like super tinted windows and shit and stuff, so you can actually
sport in that Rolls Royce super tinted vehicle.
Yeah, and there's a scene in like in Buffy where like Angel's driving a car and he has like all the windows like covered or whatever. It's like, what? No? Okay, you just whatever.
Excuse me, is this up to Connecticut's DMV code?
And then we cut back to Amber being again interrogated by the bad guys. There's a line where they ask her if she drinks blood like her parents, and she gets mad. And I think what transpires is she uses telekinesis to explode a bag of blood in their hands. But again, this movie is so ineptly shot and edited that I couldn't even tell if that's actually what happened.
Do you drink blood like your parents?
I'm just assuming that's what's transpired. Put your best guess as I show you the scene. I think that's what happened. Also, I had assumed this whole time that Amber's mom was dead because she was mad at them about something they did to her mom.
I'm sorry, there's something on this microphone that's pissing me. OCD. Okay.
Leave it alone.
Sorry.
And I thought they had killed her mom, but no, they have her mom captive, and like they bring her body in a sheet, and they're like, "See, if you don't cooperate, we'll kill her." I guess I don't know. Whatever.
Keep her in the shade. We don't want any stray light to hit her. Contrary to what we believe, sunlight does not affect you.
Meanwhile, it's now nighttime enough that Rhiannon can go visit Serafina at a funeral. Does she live in a funeral home? What the fuck is it? Looks like a funeral home, like the foyer to a funeral home. I don't know. She walks in and Serafina's there, and Serafina asks her,
I'm Rhiannon. I don't really care who you are. What I would be interested to know is why you dare smash a hole through my front door.
And I'm like, oh, we didn't see. Oh,
Nope.
She was supposed to have done that, and you guys just didn't do that.
you just didn't do that.
We just cut right past that. Great. And then they have a big confrontation.
Are you suggesting that I should answer to you?
It wasn't a suggestion. You abducted the man that I hired to tag the murder of Bryan's.
This is a
And they have a
vampire
vampire fight. And by vampire fight, I mean these two ladies just roll around on the floor.
Oh my god, that seems familiar.
Struggling at each other. Yes, absolutely. She does throw Serafina over a railing, which is fun. Which would obviously do nothing because she's a vampire, but I guess it kind of hurts her or whatever. And they wrestle around. It's just they don't even wrestle around. I forgot I forgot this moment's amazing. There's like 40 straight seconds as we cut back and forth and just watch them trade punches back and forth. It's literally one swing, one swing, one swing.
Yeah.
Just sitting there
So
like, what is happening? I love it. They're rolling around, the music gets more intense, and then we immediately cut to Stone driving in his car. Just like moving on, I guess. Whatever the familiar for Serafina called him and is like, some vampires here trying to kill Serafina. We need you.
He
pulls a U-turn and comes back. And then before he goes inside, he pulls the gun out of the glove box. And when he checks the mag and the slide, it's this. You can hear it's plastic. Like it's very clearly plastic. Very clearly. Oh god.
I mean, I know you're in like New York, but it can't be that difficult to get your hands on a prop gun.
Or Kyle. Watch what I do here in the edit.
Oh my god, that sounded like
a real gun! Wow! Amazing! You can put sound effects in after the fact? Who would have known it?
I'm so utterly convinced now.
But I love when he walks in, they very clearly, like, they want it to look like chaos as this vampire fight has transpired, but they so clearly, like, very carefully, like, flipped over furniture and, like, took cushions off couches and set. It's like nothing is destroyed. It's all just tipped. It's like in Stick Fighter when they come.
It's like, no, they came through and tipped over my
They made one of my paintings crooked. No.
Yeah. And it is trashed in the most unbelievably staged trashing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like everything is trashed at an angle.
At a 45-degree angle.
God, look at my house. Look at this. Oh my God.
They're like, look.
Oh
no!
Does somebody not like you or what?
Do you think this was done to me specifically? My chair, Oh no.
But then they have a bit, so him and Serafina and Rhiannon all have this conversation, and again, little things. They clearly set the camera up to film Rhiannon, or Serafina and Willem, and they are taller than Rhiannon. And then when they shot the reverse of Rhiannon, they did not adjust their tripod height. She literally comes up halfway up the frame.
Sorry, I'm not up to date on all of this. Who's who in the undead, you know?
The child you were hired to protect is very dear to me, and she's been kidnapped.
And they didn't, I was like, you can also tilt, you could tilt it. Nope, okay, you're just gonna let her take up half the front. Oh, great. Yep. Amazing. And then we have a fun, witty throwaway line from Willem Stone. So at this point, he has been fucked by a vampire, bitten by a vampire 3 times or something, entranced by a vampire.
Domination.
Fucking enthralled. All of this chaos has happened. He's met a vampire stealing blood at a hospital. He was captured by the Taliban and fucking tortured. And then at the end of the scene, after all of that has happened, now he has a line where he's like,
Willem Stone, you just entered the Twilight Zone.
And it's like, what? Now you're thinking
not your comatose time traveling?
Yeah, now it's the time. Why, like, what is hell? Oh my god.
The bathroom's through there if you want to watch up. You look as if you spent the day in a grave.
The trunk of my car, actually.
But meanwhile, Rhiannon and fucking Serafina need to go clean up, so they got to go shower up in her room. And this scene, I guarantee, was supposed to be a lot more revealing than what it ultimately ended up being. I guarantee in the writer director's head, this scene was a lot longer and had a lot more going on. But I love it. Rhiannon comes out of the bathroom.
You think this has a rated X cut somewhere?
No, it does not. No, because intelligently, all of the people involved in this movie were like, not doing that, not doing that.
Good.
Fucking Rhiannon comes out in this scene in a towel, like from she just got out of the shower. She pulls the towel off and she has underwear on underneath. That's not what you do with a towel. You don't have your underwear underneath. Did you shower in your underwear? What the fuck is going on?
Hey, you don't bathe with your underwear?
Oh my god. It's amazing. We cut back Dr. Stiles as he reminds us, it's Dr. Stiles over and over again.
It's Dr. Stiles.
He's interrogating Amber about whether or not she can die or something like that.
And you have this magic telekinetic ability to move things with your mind. Have you ever pushed your limits? What's the largest thing you've ever moved?
I could watch this guy if the whole movie was just this guy having normal mundane conversations, but at his like intensity level, it would be the best. I would watch a movie. I want a two-hander buddy cop movie. Kyle, two-hander buddy cop movie. This guy, Dr. Stiles, and the Marnie guy from fucking Incubus.
Yeah.
Marnie!
I was going to mention Incubus as well because this is like the uncle. What did I tell you?
Yes, exactly.
What did I tell you about talking to strangers?
He's not a stranger.
How come I ain't never seen him before?
Him and this guy, buddy cop two-hander movie.
Oh, God.
Vampire buddy cop movie. Fucking amazing. It would be incredible.
Bravo. Excellent. Telekinesis is well controlled. So where's your friend? Oh, Lordy, Lord.
But they do explain that Amber doesn't heal as fast as vampires, but she does heal faster than normal humans. So she's got some kind of magic going on.
Well, I imagine she heals beyond the point of normal humans. Like if she's, say, missing a hand.
Yeah.
Does she regrow the hand?
I don't know. She has scratches, they say a bunch of times, and those heal quicker than normal.
Let me see those little scrapes. Half healed already. You don't heal as fast as your relatives do, but you feel a lot faster than a mortal human being. And you're stronger too.
Also, there's a line in this conversation where he steps on her line and then realizes it and stops, and then they just left it in because they didn't want to take. Where he's like,
Don't you have what you need yet? Can't you just let us go?
Get some rest.
Don't you have what you need yet? Can't you just let us go?
In his office, little detail, they did the classic thing, which I love, is they had this office with all these bookcases because he's a scientist and they want it to look like his lab or whatever. But they didn't want to deal with copyright or any issues with that, so they just take all the books and turn them around backwards. So you just see the pages, which if a real person stored their books that way, they would be a serial killer. That's a big hint that person's a serial killer.
How do you know what book you're getting? That's the chaos.
Yes. Right? I live in pure chaos. Every day I grab a random book from the shelf and just read. It's like, what the fuck is happening? It's incredible.
You've never been sick.
Not that I remember.
That hardly makes you an ordinary girl.
Okay.
I love his office too. It's just the most generic, like, science office. Like, he just has fucking microscopes randomly on his desk. Also, there's a scene, and I think this is where they're going to rescue Amber for real and everybody else, because everybody else got captured, and Serafina and Rhiannon and I gotta talk about this. Serafina and the dude are going to rescue them. And they're having this argument in the front seat of their car.
You kicked my ass, and I still haven't made peace with that one.
Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
And for one, the angles of these shots are insane. The camera is like 2 inches from his face, and like he's looking over it's very off-putting and very confusing. And they're having this wild conversation where he's like, I craved you like a drug.
Yes, it's because I don't hate you. Although I should, considering what you tried to do to me. But I don't.
He's like pouring out his heart. He's like, I loved every minute of being tied to that bed.
I'm so fucking hot for you. And out of my head in love with you because of mind control, or because I really am.
Forced to submit to your will.
I love every minute of being tied to that bed. Forced to submit to your will.
And then he's like, oh, and I'll return the favor one day.
And you will too. When I return the favor one of these nights.
Don't be ridiculous, Willem.
Kyle pulls out, Rhiannon's just sitting in the back seat like, so
okay. So what is it about me that frightens you so much?
Nothing frightens me.
Bullshit.
This felt like a you two kind of conversation. It's fucking incredible.
Thanks for the information.
Oh my god. I don't know if that was intentionally comedic, but oh my god, I fucking lost my mind at that.
I wanted every bit of it and then some. I craved you like a drug.
And then it just cuts from them driving, and they're just in Amber's cell. Literally, it goes from, we're driving the car, we're in her cell. I'm like, what? How did they get...
That's fast.
Your lost pet. I can great job.
How did they get... Cool, none of that matters. We're there. Also, as they're walking in, or I think it's as the villain, somebody's going into the cell. We get a boom shot or boom mic in the frame.
God.
There's one moment where you can see it right at the top from a wide shot outside the cell. I was like, there it is. So they start going around and they kill like the 2 guards or whatever.
No, it's too noisy.
And I think it's supposed to be, we then get a shot of Rhiannon carrying the 2 bodies down the hall. And I think it's supposed to like look effortless because she's like a strong vampire,
Yeah.
but it does not look effortless. She's like struggling down this hall. It's pretty great. And then also, meanwhile, 2 of the other thugs are working out in the gym.
Yes.
Kyle, this fucking scene
Oh
is
my God.
incredible. And they're talking about how they want it. One of them wants to have sex with Amber real bad.
She's an animal. I don't give a damn how pretty she is. She's a goddamn demon.
A little demon. A little wild thing.
He really wants to, and so he leaves to go do that, or he's getting ready to go leave to do that. And as they're sitting there talking, Serafina walks into the room and then sits up against the wall and says some spell. She says, I don't know what she says. She says some spell and fucking disappears, like fades into the wall.
Mists of magic cloud his sight. Cloak my form as dark cloaks night.
And they're both like, what was that? She was like 2 feet behind them, saying words out loud, and they don't even react at all.
Yeah, it's like Skyrim level, like, oh, what was that?
What was that?
Oh, I guess it was just my imagination.
I guess it was the wind. It's like, you mean saying those sentences? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Mists of magic cloud his sight. Cloak my form as dark cloaks night.
But she fades into the wall, and then one of the guys leaves to go get with Amber, and then she sneaks over to the other guy,
breaks his neck,
snaps his neck. Oh god! And then another guy, and then she goes up into the other, and now the guy's up there, and he's like drugged. He has drugged Amber at this point. Is going to take advantage of her, and then Serafina comes in and
snaps him.
What the fuck?
lot of neck snapping in the past couple of Good, Bad, or Bad Bads.
It's true. A lot of neck snapping. Then we cut down. Meanwhile, Stone is trying to rescue the other vampires who are locked in a prison cell in the basement. So many things in this scene. One, he jumps down off a ladder behind a guard, lands on the floor behind him, and the guy does not react at all to the sound of an adult human landing. Landing right behind him.
Well, that's what happens when you max your stealth.
He gets the key for the cell. Kyle, I don't know if you noticed this. One, as he's going to unlock them, he drops the key.
Glad to see you, Stone.
And has to pick it up again. He's like, oh, fuck. But then he hits the key. He unlocks the door. And Kyle, he reaches up and fake opens the door. And you hear the sound effect. So they know about sound effects, apparently.
Yes.
But he apparently, for whatever reason, he couldn't actually open this door. So he mimes opening the door, but you can see he's clearly not opening the door.
God. Glad you didn't beat the pebble.
I heard you kick the pebble, come down the stairs, and watch it cross the entire basement.
And then they all just walk out of the cell because the door was open the whole time. It's incredible. It's amazing.
Glad you didn't beat the pebble.
Oh my God. Then we cut to a different part of, and this is apparently a house. It's very clearly like a prison or something that they're filming, a correctional facility or something. But also parts of it are like a house. Some of the other random vampires show up. I guess, oh no, it's because they got him out of prison. And one of them was Rhiannon's boyfriend, husband, lover. He walks up dressed like the fucking Dread Pirate Roberts in his goddamn black pirate Ren Fair shirt. I have that shirt in my fucking closet over there.
Of course Bryan would.
Kyle, it's Halloween and I wanted to become the Dread Pirate Roberts, so who are you?
I know aerobics.
Oh no. It's that fucking shirt, I swear. And they just start hard making out in the middle. It's like, what is... All right, great. Then Serafina confronts Dr. Stiles. And it's a big showdown in his office. And it's so nothing.
Yes.
She's like, they have some witty banter.
Funny. I didn't take you for an addict.
And I didn't take you for an idiot.
And then he just like slowly walks at her and she tries to grab him and then he like brushes her aside and then he grabs her.
Yes.
And then he shoots her in the stomach.
And that apparently that's like, and you're incapacitated.
Yeah, and that completely incapacitates her for some reason.
Die for this.
Not likely.
Even though she's a vamp, whatever. Yeah. So she's now bleeding, and I'm not sure how this causes issues, but it does. And then he grabs her body, throws it over her shoulder, and takes her out. And then they show up into the office, and Stone's like, oh no, there's blood. There's like a drop of blood on the ground, but he's like, oh no, blood, something happened here. And he starts fucking losing it. He's like super upset about this.
This doesn't make any sense.
And I love too, the rest of them show up and fucking cracked out Amber, who's like high on opium or whatever the fuck they drugged her. Yeah, what tranquilizer they hit her with. She's like fucking loopy out of her mind. She cracks the code of what they're doing. She opens a book and starts reading randomly.
He's been injecting himself with my blood.
What's... Let me see.
Somehow, something in his notes they read, and it explains what all is going on here, that he's trying to use Amber's blood to create like a super soldier serum or something, basically.
Yeah, it's the Russian super soldier program.
Basically. And I love at one point, Rhiannon takes the book from Amber to read it herself, and as she's reading it, I don't know if this is the actress that played Amber taking the piss out of this movie, or if it was in the script or what, but Rhiannon's reading it with the book. Hold this. Hold this. Amber, like you're reading, Amber's like, and knocks it out of her hand. And Rhiannon's like, hey, Hey, don't do that, you asshole.
Okay, it says here he thinks we're evil animals and he wants to destroy us. Amber.
It's so weird. It's such a weird moment. I love it so much. She like scolds her like she's a it's fucking hilarious.
Amber.
Stone is in pursuit.
It's turned into a locked room mystery at this point. They're like, how did he get out of here with her? There's no exits. We would have seen him going out. How did he get out of here? And then they figure out that how do they do that? What the fuck happens?
This is when we got into the 2.5 hour mark where I was like, I'm starting to blank.
That's fair. I don't remember how they do this, but at some point they figure out, oh, they get a guard, one of the other people that they drugged earlier, they bring him down and threaten to murder her, and she confesses, oh, there's a secret escape route. You have to hit the escape key on the keyboard.
The escape key on the keyboard.
In the computer. It's so simple.
And that opens a tunnel to some sewers that you can use to get. I don't know. But anyways, like you said, Stone is now chasing.
Talk about more Bethesda games, the Overseer Tunnel.
Yeah. Stone is chasing down this tunnel where he took Serafina. Also, when that guy gets Serafina out to the woods and he tosses her down, he tosses her down. She broke her tailbone. That actress probably had stern words with him. He fucking drops her like a real dead body. He's like, whoonk, and I was like, holy shit, that looked painful. But then he ties her to a tree, and he gets his big long villain monologue where he's like, it's not gonna happen all at once. You're gonna slowly suffer.
You're gonna slowly suffer. You're gonna slowly burn.
But he's doing it. I think some of this is supposed to be like quiet and like whispered. Like I imagine if you read this monologue, like my interpretation of it would be like there would be layers to it. Some of it would be quiet, like close and like menacing. Some of it might be yelled when you're more angry. This guy yells the whole thing like a fucking maniac. It's incredible.
He's got one mode.
You're gonna hang there helpless as your skin roasts. Oh yeah, it's gonna rise. It's gonna rise.
Also, as our guy's walking down the tunnel, he throws his walking stick away for literally no reason. He's like, this is holding me back. And I'm like, is it? Seems like it's helping.
I'm pretty sure it's not holding you back, it's holding you up.
Yes, exactly. I'm pretty sure it's helping, but whatever. He's like, I get this out of here. I can run on my own. And then as she's about to be burned by the sun, Stone shows up to save the day. He's like, I'm here. And then they get into a fist fight. There's some really bad slow-mo knife swinging.
Yeah.
And just like
he gets like tripped and falls to the ledge or whatever.
Dude, I don't know.
So bad.
There's a knife gets dropped. He like pushes him, and I think he falls off a cliff, but he's like hanging on the cliff, and he's like, I will not die.
I will not die!
I will not die! And then he falls off the cliff.
It's great. It says, I will not die. And then when he says it again, it's like, I will not die.
Yeah.
No! I will not die!
And then he falls off this very short cliff and like rolls down a hill or whatever. And they see his body laying it. Then they're like, well, I guess he's dead. I was hard to figure out what was going on there.
So there was a pressing need to get Serafina out of there because
the sun was
coming up.
And now we sit and chat for fucking...
Yes, it's so fucking dumb.
But I might not have made it in time. I could still lose you.
Oh, well, please, just untie me.
I'm about to.
I was like, guys, the sun! Weren't we talking about how the sun is coming up?
That thing that makes you burst into flames?
They talk for like 20 goddamn minutes, Kyle. They just sit and chat. He even starts hitting on, he's like flirting with her. He says,
if you weren't shot full of bullet holes, and the sun wasn't about to rise, I wouldn't for several hours.
I wouldn't untie you for several hours. It's like, why is now the moment? Okay, fantastic.
This is not the time to fight.
It's incredible.
Yet, seems to me like you owe me a favor.
Oh my God. Then he quotes Freddie Mercury to her. Or she quotes it to him. He says, "A year of love beats a lifetime of alive." Freddie Mercury said something like that.
A year of love beats a lifetime of alone. Freddie Mercury said something like that.
Anyways, unties her,
yeah.
carries her off, and then it gets darker for some fucking reason.
Just in the nick of time.
Yes.
It just gets darker.
It gets darker. It's now actually nighttime. They're not day for night anymore.
Yes.
It's actually nighttime because they were probably filming this at sunset, trying to fake it for sunrise, and then it actually got dark.
They're trying to wrap everything up, and then Amber brings up a point. Where's Styles' body? We need to see the body to be sure he's dead.
Yeah.
But where's Styles? I want to see that bastard dead for myself. I want to see his body.
And then
they walk over to the cliff.
It's gone.
It's gone. Dun dun dun.
Where's his body, Will?
Also, they give another excuse for fucking Stone to take his shirt off because she's bleeding. Serafina's bleeding, and he's like, "Here, tie this around your wound."
That's not gonna do much because she's a vampire.
He's a vampire. Yeah, whatever. Sure, great, fantastic.
You're going to survive?
Yes, I think so.
And then the last line of the movie, they're all chatting, and he's talking to Amber, I think, and or whoever, and she's something, and Stone's last line.
You think you've got problems? I'm in love with a vampire.
God.
And then Kyle, it's so sad. The credits roll, and the first credit is an in memoriam for the writer-director of the film.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, oh no, fuck.
Okay.
God damn it.
Carlos, gotta rest your soul.
I would say this is bad.
Yes.
I will say that if an hour were edited out of it would be good bad.
Yes.
Because
it drags hard.
It's 2.5 hours long. This movie is as long as The Godfather, Kyle.
There are writing issues, there are acting issues, there are technical issues. It has
everything.
Anything that could go wrong with this movie did go wrong.
Yes, and it's fucking amazing, and I love it for that. But yes, it's just too long that I cannot recommend that you watch it because, again, it's 2.5.
It's available on Tubi.
It is on
for
Tubi.
now.
You can go check it out if you want, but just strap in for the long haul because it's a long one.
You think you've got problems? I'm in love with a vampire.
Kyle, as always, everybody can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there for a little bit of money a month. You get access to cool stuff, including a podcast, which we'll be recording right after this, where we answer some questions. I have a podcast called This Film Is Out. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, I don't know what's out because, again, we're too far ahead. tpublic.com.
I forgot to
you forgot to change shirts.
But
I'll just Photoshop that in over your
Yeah, there we
chest
go.
the whole time. No. I did change shirts to my Human Blood Drive shirt.
Yay.
This is actually for a vampire thing that I made. So.
In our day, a blood drive involved a very large wheel, an unwilling victim, and several men in hoods who would quite literally drive the blood out of the poor sap's body.
There you go.
You told me about that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Have I worn this on the show?
Yes, I think you have.
I don't remember that at
I don't know.
all.
We've done a lot of vampire movies.
I like to do Anyways,
Twitch.
Yeah.
We do Twitch
Twitch.tv. Check it out.
You can
on
watch
the
me
screen.
really suck at Polybridge and not be able to work out the Twitch extension because it's really crappy. Anyways.
Fantastic, brilliant, amazing. That's gonna do it for this episode. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Maybe not.
Watch.
You can watch like the first 30 minutes and get your fill of it,
And
and
then be
just,
done.
Yeah,
And then be done. And then be done. It'll be great.
Yay!
I loved this though, Kyle. I loved this movie. Secretly, I kind of loved it. It was terrible, but I kind of loved it.
I have nothing to say.